Hey friend, welcome back to Seed and Sparrow Homestead. I'm in the kitchen today and I'm preserving some garlic. This is not all my garlic, it is all of my soft neck garlic. Everything I planted about 30 cloves of each soft neck and hard neck, and I had intended to just cure it all and store it in my basement. However, I encountered a problem with all of my soft neck garlic, and that will not be able to be cured and stored. I'll bring the camera down and I'll show you why. So I had to prematurely harvest all of my soft neck garlic. It didn't seem to mess with the hard neck, which is good. I'm hopeful I can still store those. But this is what I saw underneath the ground, like these misshapen, like the bulbs weren't forming correctly. There's no outer layer of paper. And I had noticed that the necks, while it is a soft neck variety, they shouldn't just be like mushy and fallen over. And that's how these looked, and it got that way within like a week. So upon inspecting further and digging down, this is what I found, like these misshapen bulbs. And looking even closer, see if the camera picks it up. Right in there is a tiny little larva. And that is from the allium leaf miner. And they cause this type of damage, this misshapen bulbs, and they like burrow into the bulbs. And they also do this with onions and leeks, and they just infest them. So my understanding is that these are somewhat new to our area. Like they started coming around like 2015, 2016. And they have like an early spring flight. So they're like little tiny flies. And I think they come through this area like April to June, and like they'll put these little holes into the leaves up top. That's one sign you can look for, like little white or yellow holes, streaks in the leaves of your plants. And they will come back then and they'll lay their larvae in them. So that's what happened. It's all this stuff. And from doing some research, it seems like the best method of prevention there for an organic gardener who's not going to spray any chemicals like myself is as soon as I plant the garlic clove, I plant typically late October, I need to cover it with netting right away. Like don't wait until the plants start to poke up in the spring. You want to cover it right away. And something else I might do, which I have done previously, I have sprayed beneficial nematodes all over the soil in my yard. It just puts like good microorganisms into the soil to kill off things like this. And I want to do that again this fall. So that's how I plan on preventing this from happening in the future. I might do some more research and see if there's anything else I can do. This was just, you know, a quick little bit of research. So I don't think these are like a total lost cause. I mean, if you're pretty squeamish, it's kind of gross that there's like little larvae in them, but I'm going to go through. I'm going to peel all of these and see what I can salvage, and then we're going to preserve them in a few ways. Because I am not just chucking 30 heads of garlic when there's definitely some cloves that have been untouched. But it is pretty gross. I mean, you can just see. Lots of little larvae, which is just, it's gross, but no, it's just part of gardening. Honestly, I've just come to terms with it. There's gonna be bugs, just part of gardening. So we're gonna see what we can salvage today. I have a few different ways. I think I'm going to preserve whatever I can get out of those heads. And then I also went through and I got all of my garlic scapes off of my hardneck varieties. So I think we're gonna do a small batch of garlic scape pesto here. And yeah, we'll see what we have to work with, and we'll see what else we get to preserve today. I do also want to see, once my hardneck garlic is ready to come out, just how that fared. And if that wasn't affected, then I think I may just only plant hardneck garlic. But I started peeling some of these, and I'm just realizing this is gonna take a little while to peel off like the bad layers to get to some salvageable stuff. So I will be here till further notice. And if you know me in person and you see me within like the next week or two, you know why I reek of garlic. So it is the next day. Yesterday got to be really busy. It took me a while to peel all of this garlic. So this is what I ended up with from 30 heads of garlic. There's a lot of cloves in here, but they're all just really small, obviously, because I didn't allow the plants to mature all the way. And I ended up having to peel back some of the layers of the cloves to get to like a usable portion that had not been damaged by bugs. So there's still a good bit in here, and that's what we're working with today. First up though, I want to start with some garlic scape pesto. There are probably 1,000,001 pesto recipe variations on the internet. I am using my friend Heather's that she so kindly gave to me, and I'm just using that as a base. We're kind of doing this to taste. Now, my husband is the one that is tasting it since I am not able to right now, but I have full confidence in his taste buds. So I have roasted some walnuts here just to give them a little bit more depth and flavor. You can use cashews. You can really use whatever nut you have on hand. Pine nuts are what is used traditionally, but they're pretty expensive. You can also use some seeds like pumpkin seeds or sunflower seeds if you have a nut allergy. So I am just removing the flower head portion here of my scapes that tends to be a bit stringier, not so pleasant, and I'm just chopping up my garlic scapes so they fit into my blender here better. Once the nuts have cooled, they go in as well as some Parmesan cheese. Now I will include a bit more precise recipe down in the description for you all. Like I said, I did this somewhat to taste, so you can make it to your liking. Getting that blended up, trying to give my blender a bit of a break here with the amount of volume going into it. My food processor has a crack in it, so it's not great for things with liquid. I'm adding in about 2 cups worth of my basil here. I have about 7 varieties going in. It was so aromatic, and the flavors all combined were amazing. I added in some salt and some lemon juice as well. I'm going to add in my garlic scapes here. I had about 30 to work with. I had to keep scraping down the sides of this blender. It really is not the best tool for the job, but we're making it work. It just takes a little bit more effort. So while the blender is running, I'm gonna start adding in my olive oil, and I'm just adding this in until it gets to the consistency that I desired. So from the way this smelled, I'm sure it tasted good, but my husband said it was awesome. So I am going to be storing this in the freezer. This is not something that you can can. I am using the little 4-ounce jelly jars. This seems like the perfect amount for a family of 4 for a meal. I usually aim for about 2 to 3 tablespoons worth of pesto per serving. Now this will keep in the freezer for at least 6 months, if not a full year. Some of our favorite ways to use pesto. My friend Heather actually just put out a video on a panini using this pesto, and it looked amazing, so I'll link her video below. We also love it on chicken and fish. You can use it in pasta salads, and you can even throw it in soups. This next recipe is from Freeze Fresh by Crystal over at the Homestead. This is a roasted garlic puree, and we are putting in 2 cups worth of garlic cloves, and we're drizzling them with about 4 teaspoons of high quality olive oil. We're going to get them well coated, cover this with aluminum foil, and it is going to roast in the oven at 400 degrees for 90 minutes, stirring every 30 minutes. Now, I don't think I mentioned it yet in this video, but you can see I have cut my finger, and the star of this video today is my Toy Story Band-Aid. That is the life of a mother. I have no regular Band-Aids here. And also, I promise my fingers are clean. If you see anything that looks like dirt, it is stain. I have been working on a few projects, and my fingers just will not come clean. But here is the roasted garlic, fresh out of the oven. My house smelled incredible. It will probably smell like garlic for the next month. I transferred that into just a mug. It was the closest thing I had, and I am taking my immersion blender and I am pureeing this into a paste. We're going to spoon out this paste into half teaspoon to teaspoon size dollops. And then we're gonna flash freeze these, and then I will put them into a freezer bag and I can pull them out as I need them. This is kind of like a flavor bomb. You could also put this into your soups, stir fries, pasta dishes. You can use it as a spread, on garlic bread, on sandwiches. There's a whole bunch of ways you can use this roasted garlic puree. Next, I am going to be making some garlic powder and garlic salt. Now, I am using my freeze dryer, but you can most certainly use a dehydrator or even your oven at the lowest setting, and you just want to dehydrate these until they are completely dry. So I am going to flash freeze these and get them ready for the freeze dryer because it is currently full, but I want to get this process started. It'll help the freeze drying process go a bit quicker if they're already frozen upon putting them in. So after about 25 hours in the freeze dryer, this is what they looked like. They just crack almost like styrofoam. Now the food processor will work here because we're not using any liquids. I just need to order a replacement bowl. I have to get on that. So all of the freeze-dried garlic cloves will go in here, and we are going to blend this all up into a very fine powder. Now, I believe the volume is a bit different when freeze drying compared to dehydrating. It doesn't really lose any volume when you freeze dry. It also retains the flavor and the nutrients of whatever is being freeze dried much more than it would if you were dehydrating. So I ended up with about a half cup's worth of powder. I divided that into two, and I added in a half cup of Redmond's real salt in with a quarter cup of the garlic powder, and I'm making some garlic salt. Garlic salt can be used in a variety of ways, from garlic bread to soups, casseroles. It's fantastic on steaks, really whatever your heart desires. Now we're going to make some compound butter. Compound butter is just butter mixed with some supplementary ingredients to give more depth of flavor, and you can make a savory mix or you could make a sweet mix. Today obviously I'm making savory with the garlic, and I'm using some herbs from my garden. I have sage and rosemary, some marjoram and parsley, but I know you can do like a cinnamon and honey compound butter. You could do lavender and lemon. You could do like a jalapeno mix. There's a whole bunch of different ways you can do this, and then you can just have it on hand to enhance your dishes that you are making.
So all we are doing is taking off the woody stems of these herbs, and I am going to chop them up finely. Like I said, my blender doesn't always do the greatest job of actually blending things. Now, I was tired of peeling garlic and I needed some more roasted garlic for this recipe, so I am just taking off about 1/4 inch off the top of an entire head, and I'm roasting that whole in the oven for about 30 minutes. I drizzled a little bit of olive oil on top. So for the herbs, I probably used about, I don't know, a teaspoon or 2 of each. Really, it's to your liking. There's no exact recipe. I added in an entire head of roasted garlic and a 1/2 cup of Kerrygold butter. I am going to spoon this onto some saran wrap here, and we are going to shape this into a log. And then this will go into the freezer. It'll keep in there for at least 6 months, and you can pull out as you need it, slice a bit off, wrap it back up, put it back into the freezer. I hope this was helpful, give you some ideas on how you can preserve and use garlic. If you have any other ideas, go ahead and drop them down in the comments. I'd love to know, and I'm sure it'd be helpful to everyone else reading them. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and be sure to share this video with any garlic lovers in your life. Have a blessed day. I will see you next time. Take care.